my British Experience Seminar class, I was required to make a 2-minute video answering 6 questions that reflected on my study abroad experience. However, I didn't think 2 minutes was quite enough, so I've decided to re-edit it, added music, give myself more time to fully answer the questions, and now I'm going to post it on here, my blog! Yay! What ways have I changed? It's hard to say what ways exactly, just know that I have. And I don't think I'm going to know exactly how I have until I go home and my friends and family kind of see it. And until I see it when I realize I don't fit into my old life. If that makes sense? I mean, I know since I've been here, I've had a lot of experiences challenge my values and what I believe in, what I think about the world. But how exactly that's changed me, I don't think I'll find out for another few weeks. The most important thing I've learned while studying abroad is to enjoy life's journey. You know, stuff happens and you have to either go with it or let it wreck you. So, getting lost all the time, and it can be so frustrating to just constantly get lost and never know where you're going. But I learned I need to take that as I'm lost, I don't know what I'm doing, and just freak out, or I feel like, well, I'm lost, and now it's an adventure to find my way home. And that can be applied to so many different aspects of my life. I've slowly started learning how to let go of the small things. I've always been a bit anxious, and London has really challenged that and taught me that if I'm going to enjoy life, I can't do that. Like, I've got to let it go, and I have to be able to relax and let plans get ruined and continue on with my day, because life never turns out the way you think it's going to. I want to tell them all the important things. I want to tell them all the ways I've grown up, all the things I've seen, all the times my beliefs about, like, perspectives about the world have been challenged. You know, I want to tell them about all the times I got lost and how I got home and how I realized I knew I could live independently. I've lived on my own before, but there's something just about knowing I can do it in another country where there were sometimes I was just alone. I felt alone, but I did it. You know, I got through it, and I lived in a foreign country, in a foreign culture, by myself. I really want to take the experiences I've had and continue to let them impact my life. I don't want to go back to the States and go back to the person I used to be. I want to go back to the States and continue growing from where I am now, and just go back up and hopefully someday return to the UK and still kind of fit in. I was most surprised by clothing sizes, which is really weird. It's a totally random thing to be surprised by, but I think it took me about a month to realize that, like, the big store Primark doesn't have plus size clothing. Like, they don't. Their biggest sizes are maybe the smallest plus size clothes. And that was just sort of a realization for me that maybe everyone always talks about how obese America is, and maybe they're a little more right than I've thought. I've always kind of been like, oh, well, this is whatever, but every store you go into America has a plus size section. And I think I've walked by one plus size store in my entire time here, maybe 2. And that was surprising. My advice for any students that come to London would be, take everyone's advice with a grain of salt, because we're all right and we're all wrong, and no one can tell you what you're going to experience. Like, some of the things Mark and Jen told us were so helpful, and some of them weren't applicable or ended up being kind of wrong when we actually got into the experience. Although stand on the right, walk on the left on the tube. That is important.